Today, we are joined by a very special guest. But of course, as always, we do a bit of a run through because we're defined by our numbers. 85,000 Instagram followers, co-host of the Luke and Lewis podcast. 74 shows over 7 months. With this show, cheers to that coming up very soon. 950k TikTok followers. Please welcome to the podcast, Australian comedian Luke Kidgell. Welcome, mate.
Thank you very much for having me. What an intro. I feel like you shouldn't be congratulating me yet for shows I haven't done. Like, you're like, oh man, he's doing so many shows. Like, that's the plan. But,
yeah.
I could just be like, nah. You know what I mean?
True. I went down. I was counting all the shows that you were doing, and it took me like 5 minutes because you're basically doing them everywhere.
I think we've just added another one yesterday as well. Oh, where did you count? We added Alice Springs last night.
Nah, missed that. let me do that again then. 75 shows over 7 months.
Thank you very much. I still haven't done any, but God, we are very ambitious. So that's good.
Beauty. Well, Luke, we ask every guest this. What is your rarest moment?
Yes, I've heard this question. I was excited to get it. I feel like when I wake up, it gets rare, and when I go to bed, I think it's. I didn't know what to pick, right? So I think this is like. I don't even think it's that weird, but everyone in my life thinks it's weird. I separate my food.
Please explain further.
I can't have like my tomato. Say if I've got like a barbecue, right, and I've got something with tomato sauce on it, I will not allow that to touch a salad or a vegetable next to it.
What about like a burger? Is that just completely off the cards? Just everything's touching. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? I love burgers. I don't know. If it's slapped between two buns, my brain doesn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
If it's supposed to be separated, I don't know. So that's the thing I do. I don't know. I think this is everyone though. This is not just me. Whenever I get a chicken parma or parmi, sorry. It's,
correct.
Good.
Well, no, incorrect, but I'm going to translate correct English to you. So whenever I get one of them, I have to get the chips out from underneath. I will not eat it until the chips are out from underneath. Is that just me?
That's just you, brother.
I've never heard. Actually, to be fair, I do have a friend who's also like that, like very anal about just making sure that nothing touches. So, like for example, like obviously sauce. You wouldn't be pouring your sauce all over the chips, would you?
No, I'm a dipper. But you know why? Because I love the segregation. I love it. When you get a little bowl, do not, by the way, cut that out of
That's going to be clipped up.
Luke Kidgell, I love the segregation.
Luke Kidgell talking to two immigrants. I love segregation.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, but I love that sweet little bowl of aioli you get. It separates it from the start. That way you can pick and choose how much you want. Oh, it's amazing.
Perfect. Yeah, well, look, pretty rare. I'm not going to lie. Like
the separation is... No, but the fact that you're inconsistent with it, that you like burgers, but if it's on a plate, that's a no-go. That is quite rare, I have to say.
Yeah, that's not good. This is another one, but it's very niche. But it's not really rare. It's just weird. I am right-handed and I play golf left-handed.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah, you put that on the resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of cricketers, like Mitch Stark is left-hand bowler.
That wasn't really a rare moment. Now I'm just bragging.
It's humble brag.
What's the handicap?
I don't play golf.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a handicap. Like, I rock up and,
hit balls and drink beers.
Yeah, I participate. I'm mainly there for the beverages, but yeah, just to get a bit of vitamin D. And I will look if you know what, guys, my hands are tied. You clearly want me to. I did play around over summer for the first time in like 5 years, and I hit 3 pars.
That's pretty good. You take that every day of the week.
Yeah.
But I think Ro was asking, do you have any physical handicaps?
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about that. And I was like, you know what? After the segregation comment, I'm just going to leave that one to the keeper.
Committing hate crimes on our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get back on track. So, yeah, we talk about the shows that you haven't done and apparently may not do.
No, I'm fully planning to do them. Just like with COVID these days,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get any accolades or any praise for scheduling in shows.
True. We can schedule some shows.
Yeah,
if we want.
exactly.
Yeah, and I'm like, guys, congratulations, and you just go, yeah, we're not going to do them, but God, it's great to have them on your website.
Exactly, 100%. But I want to know a little bit more about you, Luke, back in the day. Like, I suppose, when did you know you were funny? Was there a moment where you're like, because Sen has this moment, he tells us all the time. He's like, in
I'm
primary
hilarious.
school, I knew I was funnier than everyone else. Did you have like similar sort of like, did anything click for you?
I don't think I was particularly that funny in school. Like, I look back on it now, I definitely thought I was. Like, I was definitely like, oh yeah, man, I'm crushing. But I got friends still that are like funnier than me, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'm the funniest guy in the friendship group, like when we're all out and stuff. But it's also pretty easy. Like, I think it's really easy to be like funny around your friends.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the thing about comedy is it's almost why it's like hard to respect comedy because everyone's been like accidentally hilarious once.
Yeah, true.
Right? Like, everyone's like made the whole friendship group laugh just once. So therefore, like, when you get up there and do it on stage, like, I can do this. It's like, and then I guess the skill is repeating that for an hour. It gets more challenging. But I don't know. To answer your question, I thank you that you think I'm funny. Firstly, that's a huge compliment. I don't know. I think I have a memory of my year 11 English teacher one day saying, like, as like an off the cuff comment, she's like, "Oh, I think you should try stand up one day." But I don't think she was being serious.
Yeah.
And now she probably goes like, "Oh my God, I was kidding." Like, what you really took that quite literally and did it for 7 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it must have been school. I was definitely like a show off, definitely like the class clown type of guy, but I don't think I was very good at it.
How did you get into comedy then? If it was, if you didn't take your year 11 English teacher's advice?
Well, it was the first year at high school. I was doing a degree in a Bachelor of Music Business. And the only thing I learnt was there's no money in music. Thing to learn. It took me 5 months of the course to figure that one out. And then I went to the comedy festival in March, and I'd never seen stand-up comedy before. Like, I was out of high school. And I watched Nick Cody's show, who's a great Melbourne stand-up comedian. And I think kind of arrogantly, like, when you watch someone good do something and they make it look easy. I did that thing. I was in the crowd. I was like, I could probably do this. And it was much harder once I started doing it. And then I just went to an open mic like in June, 3 months later. I took like 3 months to kind of build up the courage / write a set. And I don't remember anything I said the first show. And I remember I got like 3 laughs, and that was enough to make me come back for round 2.
Nice.
And I just kept on doing that. And isn't that shocking? Isn't that arrogant to just think like, I'm funny?
Yeah.
I always think that whenever I see like a new open micer, like, this is my first gig, I'm like, this bloke's got tickets on himself, gee. And everyone did the same thing. Like, all of us have had the thought before, like, I reckon I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, speaking of like shows, I suppose, I was listening to Lewis when he was talking about only selling 17 tickets to a show in Gympie. And I was wondering kind of if you had any horror stories about your worst show or shows.
The first show I ever did, I mean, I didn't really consider it a horror story because it was on a Monday night in Newcastle back in 2017. I did a show to like 23 people, but that's good. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, a Monday night in Newcastle, I'd done like one viral video at the time of me ignoring signs.
Yeah.
I was shocked anyone showed up, to be honest. So, that was good. I don't know. I've had the comedy festivals, you always have a few like shows where, it might be like a Wednesday night. And especially in those first years, I remember, I think one year I'd sold like 15 tickets or something. So I like begged some of my friends to come. So I was like, man, can you guys all come tonight? So
Yeah.
15 fans that bought tickets like think I'm more popular.
Yeah.
And it worked a treat. I had like 25 people in the room. It was great.
Doubled your audience.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't consider that even a horror story, like not selling any tickets. Like, often, like, they're some of the most fun gigs because like you can see people having fun, and if you acknowledge it and you still create a fun environment for those, few people in the room. I think even as an audience member, sometimes I like being in a room of like, oh man, one of the best shows I ever saw was with like 4 people.
Really?
At the comedy festival. Yeah, and it was the weirdest crowd. Oh, there was 6 of us. It was a friend of mine, Bart Freebarn's show, right? And it was on like a Monday or Tuesday or something like that. It was me, my girlfriend, this goes full circle, Nick Cody,
Yeah.
and 2 other punters, right? And there were 6 of us in a room, and I've never seen a comedian still to this day crush that hard.
Really?
Like Bart, he's great. He's like a good buddy of mine, and he's so funny. And he just annihilated, like not even like in a way of like acknowledging the 6 people, or he just did his material and crushed. Like it was so weird to watch. It made me like just feel so insecure. Like,
Yeah.
oh, great. I haven't done that well in front of 100 people before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it matters how many people in the room. I would say horror stories are like when people like heckle. Like, we had to kick a lady out of our show once in Port Macquarie. That was pretty rough.
What did she do?
I was on the regional tour Lewis and I did together, and she just wasn't a fan of some of the jokes we were doing.
Right.
They weren't particularly that edgy.
Was it segregation based or?
No, it wasn't. And I'm far too white for this conversation right now. No, it was something to. I had a joke about how people always used to tell me that I look like the guy who plays Stephen Hawking. And I do. Like it's an actor named Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne, yeah.
And he's the guy in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. He's in Les Mis. I do look a bit like that guy. And I used to joke about people. A girl came up to me once on the train and said, "Hey, you look heaps like Stephen Hawking," but didn't say like the actor. She just said, "You look like Stephen Hawking." And I had a joke about that. And I did that on stage. Like I've been doing that for a year at this point. No one had any complaints.
Yeah.
And then, this one lady just didn't like it. And Lewis said some stuff. And then she kept interrupting and yelling. And then it was really unfortunate. It was just a bit sad. We just had to kick her out.
Yeah.
And then the people who she was with, like, they were really nice guys. And they were big fans of us as well. And they were super apologetic and quite embarrassed. And it was just like a really negative thing. Although we did play, like, our tour manager played the nah.
Classic, yeah.
On the way out, which was probably a bit overkill in hindsight. But yeah, I would say that's probably like the worst thing that's ever happened. I had a pretty bad heckler at my Perth show. We almost kicked out. I did the biggest show I've ever done last year. It was unreal. I got to perform at the Regal Theatre in Perth. It was like 1,000 people there. I've never done a show that big before, like even probably the biggest by double. And there's always going to be one person out of 1,000
Yeah.
that ruins it, right? And for some reason, I was on stage and I realized halfway through the set as I'm dealing with this heckler, I was like, we don't have security. Like, it's just me, my girlfriend, and like a few ushers who are like working part-time in between uni. I was like, really like thinking to myself, I was like, I don't know if this escalates, like, do I have to just fight them? I was like, what's going to happen? So I probably should have kicked them out, but I didn't think I could. So I was like, I just let them stay. So that was probably the worst stories. But man, overall, after 7 years of doing it, I feel like I've had a pretty good run, really.
Nice. That's sick. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, maybe instead of kicking them out yourself, you just rile the crowd up like a mob and just lynch them, just send them out packing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nick Kidgell style.
Yeah, Nick Kidgell style. Get out.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then if like someone gets hit on the way out, I give them the microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that situation. I think I tried just being funny, obviously, but then there's always that point where it becomes not funny because like then other people in the crowd are like it got to the point where like it's Perth, so people are pretty rowdy anyway.
Yeah,
and people just start like turning and going, "Shut up!" like in the middle of the show.
Jeez.
I was just like on stage, I was like, Jesus Christ,
that's aggressive.
But yeah, I couldn't even understand what this like lady was saying. Like she was just like mumbling, and I was like, I don't speak Perth. Like, translate what you're saying. Like this is crazy. But other than that, I've really had a great run. No complaints, really.
Out of interest, I was wondering, right? You started in radio, now you do a podcast, like with Lewis. How has your relationship evolved, I suppose, over time?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where we actually met doing stand-up. So we were originally just doing gigs together. We used to do this room called Shisha Comedy. It was like a shisha bar full of like old Arabic people.
Yeah.
And a few young people too. But they were like, it was so hard to get laughs. It made us all much better. I went every single week for 7 months straight.
Wow.
Every Tuesday we'd go. And just because they all had a shisha pipe in their mouth, it was really hard to make them laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if you were crushing, you just hear coughing. Like if you did a good joke, it wouldn't be like, ha ha ha. It would be like, old Arabic men like heaving up their guts. I'm like, it just like the whole room just smelled like yogurt and just like,
Jeez.
smelled like licorice. Pretty much, or mint, or whatever flavor was going on.
Blueberry ice.
Yeah, I used to come back with a really sore throat, like after every Tuesday.
Secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was this old guy there called Mr. Shafiq and stuff. It was just like such a great Mr. Shafiq. He used to sit the same. I wonder if he's still alive. I have no idea. But he used to sit in the same chair every day and just heckle us.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was this other comedian, Michael Schaefer. He's very funny. Who's Jewish. And he wasn't a big fan, right? And he would give Michael just so much shit, just like about his religion and like everything. It was wild. It was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
But it was all love. Like it was all, everyone was having fun and stuff. So that's how we met. Then we like started on radio. We started doing videos together. We probably knew each other for about a year and a half, probably 2 years even. And I was opening for Lewis, like when he was much bigger than I was. And I was like coming on the road with him and opening all his shows. So I would say we were friends for about maybe 2-3 years before we got on radio. And then since then, we've gotten a lot busier. So we do still try and hang out. Like we always try and make time to hang out just as friends rather than always making content together. Because I think that's super important. Like you guys probably find the same thing. Like you got to, if you're not actually friends with someone, then it's hard to like make good comedy with them. But yeah, like we're naturally just, we gravitated towards each other as friends at the start. I think we have a lot in common. We're so different, but like we have like the same goals and same mindset, same work ethic and stuff like that. But personality wise, like we could not be more different. He likes Warhammer and I like drinking beer. It's crazy.
I love it.
It's very funny, like, and everyone knows it. It's kind of almost the appeal of our relationship in a way. Like, whenever I'm like, I was out at a nightclub last weekend, and this guy taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, and I was with Keelan, who also works on the show. He's like, Luke and Keelan, oh my god, like, come over here. He's like, where's Lewis? And I go to answer him, being like, oh, he's not. And he goes, nah, I'm kidding, boys. He's at home reading. All right, have a good one. People just kind of know, like,
Yeah.
what to expect. But yeah, I mean, we're still great friends, and we obviously see each other all the time, and. Yeah, over COVID, I left for 7 months, so I didn't see him for a while last year. He was stuck in a lockdown, and I was touring. So it was definitely tough. Definitely the most challenging year for us was last year. But since we've been back, it's been great.
Beautiful. I wanted to know, what is the fog joke, and can you reveal it to us here?
I absolutely cannot, as I do not own the fog bit. I am just the performer, the fog bit manager. It's a 10-figure plus bit, we reckon. So
is it?
I'm going to be revealing it on a podcast until we monetize that. But I actually, so the fog bit, for those who don't know, is a routine of stand-up comedy that I have that I wrote 3 years ago that was no good. I tried it at gigs, couldn't get it to work. And I was just going to scrap it. I was like, maybe it wasn't to be. And that's happened sometimes. You just think of an idea, it doesn't hit, or it's hit and miss, and you're like, you know what, maybe not. And I never put it in a show. And then Lewis believed in it. All these other comedians I knew like believed in it. And turns out I was wrong. It just needed a fan base.
Right. Yeah.
Which all great stand-up bits need a fan base, you know? So then Lewis told everyone on our podcast to chant or yell fog bit every show that I do. And literally every single show I do, that's all people yell.
It comes
like
up.
I walk on stage, and it's been 2 years now. And I've done gigs to like 4 people at open mic nights in like a dungeon in Fitzroy before. And like one of them's been like, just do the fog.
That's all I'm here for.
One time I was doing a corporate gig on the Gold Coast, like just 70-year-old lawyers, like not my demographic at all. Like, and I was like, had to do 20 minutes. I was like 17 minutes in, and then this like old bloke, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. No one's going to say it.
Yeah.
I can just do my time and leave. I was like so close to finishing. And then this old bloke just goes, "Oi, mate, do the fog bit." And I was like,
What?
like, how do you know this? And he's like, "Me daughter watches you on the talk tick."
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it haunts me to this day. And recently I made an announcement on the show a couple of weeks ago that I've officially retired the fog bit.
No.
But here's the thing. I don't own it. Lewis owns the rights to it now. He popularized it. He's the manager. He's my lawyer. He thinks there's more money to be made. So he's actually auditioning other people currently to perform the fog bit. So he thinks he can replace me, but mate, he's going to come crawling back.
I love it.
For sure. It's all about the delivery. It's not just the words. It's about how it's said.
The execution.
Yeah, it's about the story behind it, you know?
Beautiful.
So look, good luck to Lewis though. If he thinks he can replace me, then good luck to him. I see that figure dropping to 6 figures. It'll still be worth a lot, but not that much.
Not that much, yeah. Dramatically dropped in value.
No, I was just going to say we're going to have to find like some pirated version of it now, like a bootleg version.
Well, there really isn't any versions of it. Look, at the moment, look, if Lewis approaches me again and maybe we can talk cash, we can talk money, you know, if he can get me out of retirement, I would consider it. But yeah, I just honestly, if someone yells at another show, I think I might have an aneurysm. Which they will. People still will yell it, but now I'm just going to disappoint.
You're just going to kick him out. Just send him home.
Yeah. I actually, like, after I announced that I was retiring from the fog bit, we actually got 4 emails asking for refunds. But that's to be expected. You know, that's the power of the fog bit.
That's so good.
It's just a creative decision I made, but it's not going to please everyone.
True. All right. Final question, Luke. We'll wrap it up, but it's a quick would you rather. So would you rather go around in the ring with Mike Tyson today or be punched in the face by a random bloke at a nightclub in Darwin?
Ouch. Flashbacks. So that happened. The second one happened. I'm feeling good today. I'd actually rather go around in the ring with Mike because I'm assuming Mike would be high right now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Seems like when he's not training. Actually, that's not true. Actually, I don't know. Honestly, the guy who punched me was like 6'4", pretty big dude.
Yeah,
probably didn't have the same level of boxing technique as Mike, but at 2 a.m. when you're blind at a Darwin nightclub, it feels like Mike Tyson's hitting you in the face.
How good.